Hey, Matt Scratch here. So today I'm going to be completing the repairs to the truck that towed me out when I was stuck in the woods. This is my friend's 2004 GMC 2500, and I was actually mistaken. In the other video I said it had BF Goodrich all-terrains on it, and I know he used to have them on it, but these look like Goodyear Wranglers. And this is totally my fault. There was so much snow and trees and stuff flying around that I wasn't able to see that he had stopped behind me, and I bumped into him. So whatever it is, it's actually my first ever accident with another vehicle. I hit a deer once years ago, and other than that, this is the only accident I've ever had, so I can live with it, fix it, and move on. As you'll see in the clips, I painted this bumper cover at my friend's body shop, and that was a couple days ago now, and I'll show you the clips of me spraying it. And then I got a new fog lamp here as well. So this is a cross drop paint roof. Pretty common setup. The air comes in through the doors and through those filters there, and it goes out through those filters there. And of course it's got lots of bright lights in it, so this isn't going to be a how-to. I'm just going to get to it and get it done, but I'll let you guys watch. I do have a pretty nice layer of epoxy on here now, so I'm just letting it flash off for at least half an hour, and then I'm going to go over it with some single stage. It's Lemco GM black. I've got the bumper cover all painted up here, and now I'm going to have to leave it here overnight at my friend's shop, and then I'll come and pick it up tomorrow. Okay, well, to get the top bolts on the bumper here, you actually have to remove the grill, and to remove the grill you have to remove this piece, and to do that I like to use these clip pliers to get under the clips. You first pop the middle up, and then you can get under the main clip and pop it right out, and that way there's no damage. Looks like this has been apart a few times. This truck's got quite a few miles on it, so I'll put you on the tripod here and continue on. By the way, I lent the owner of this truck my Neon for the day so that he'd have something to drive while I was working on his truck, so I really want to get it all together today and back to him. Okay, so now there's going to be just this one 10mm bolt and then a whole bunch of annoying clips. There are these metal clips like that, and basically the best thing to do is get in there with some pliers if you can and depress them, and then gently pull out and then go on to the next one. But if you just pull on them, they'll pretty well break every time, so you gotta try and depress them, and they're all down there on the bottom of the grill and hard to reach areas as well. Try and show you guys how to get one of these clips off. I'm using my clip pliers just like that, so mostly just squeeze in the middle and then lightly pull back. Make sure you squeeze before you start pulling. If you put pressure on it, it'll be much harder to squeeze. And then on the end here, I'll try and get the other side on video, but there is a clip that just pops out. You just, I just hooked my finger under there and sort of wrapped it around in there and just pulled straight out, and that popped it out very easily. Try here. There we go. I'm just working on the last clip here. Luckily it's a pretty warm day out because you can't really wear a coat to do this stuff. There we go. Now when you get the last clip out, you want to just double check that there's no clips that clip back in while you're working on another, and also that the owner hasn't threaded some wires through the grill or tie wrap something to it or whatever. always check for that because see, like here my other corner caught again, so I gotta go back and unclip that one. And it's not uncommon in Canada for the block heater cord to be tie wrapped to a grill, so you don't want to just grab and pull. Grills aren't cheap. There we go. So one other tip I'll mention, but I won't be doing today, is you should always put some masking tape on the adjacent panel to prevent scrapes, but the problem is this truck's very dirty and I have nowhere to wash it, so if I put tape over that dirt I'd be doing more damage than I'd be preventing, so I'm just going to be really careful here when I take the bumper off and on, but little masking tape there could really save your butt, especially on a vehicle where the bumper sits a lot closer to the body. Okay, so you can see the fasteners here and here. It's been a while since I took one of these off, but I think there's some more in the fender wells for the corner brackets. For the corner is actually pretty easy. There's just one 15mm bolt, and you can access it from underneath, no problem. In fact, you can just sit right here. Just as easy as that. So now all the bolts are 15, which is really nice. Thank you, GM, for that. So there's these 4 more here, and I think the bumper comes right off at that point. There is a difference between the ones in the corner. They're the small ones, then the ones in the middle are big. So again, keep your fastener straight. It's not too heavy, if I recall, so I'm gonna get it off myself. I'll take this last bolt out that I left in a couple threads to hold it, and then I'm going to set it on the bench over there to put some cardboard down. Oh, fog lights, that's what I forgot. This truck has fog lights, so they should be unplugged. I'm just going to try and get one bolt back in for safety here. Well, I have to say this one's going particularly easy. It hasn't fought me at all on anything yet, so I hope that trend continues. I could use a brake on this one. Okay, and just carefully back out and tip it down. Okay, I'm going to set it face down on my bench over here. I laid some cardboard down now it's not to scrape up his chrome. So here's that corner bracket that you access the 15mm bolt from up underneath on this one. And I definitely tweaked this back. If you look at the other side, it should actually line up with this first body mount, and you can see it's pushed back from it nearly an inch. So it's fairly easy to bend around, so I can definitely pull that ahead, no problem. And then it did bumper contact at the rad support a little there, so aluminum radiator support. So that's not an issue. I don't think my friend will be concerned about it. It's completely hidden. And other than that, everything's good, and I'll get that bracket straightened up. I'll just show you on the other side quick. You can see how it's square with that front mount, so it will be very easy to line up again on the other side. Okay guys, this is called a pogo stick. It's something that's used in the collision industry for doing light pulls on vehicles, and I'm going to be using it here today to fix my friend's bumper bracket. So basically what you do is you hook it to whatever you're pulling, and then you anchor to a solid point like this body mount here, and then you hook the chain in the chain hook there, and you don't have it on a big angle, you just have it like that, so it's almost a straight pull, and then you just give it a little leverage, and it will move that surprisingly easy. And I think that's already about where I want it right there, so I'll give that a look. Yeah, that's again lining up with the body mount here, like I said, so I'm gonna call that good. So here's the back side of this bumper. Here's the busted fog light. You can see I busted the complete bracket off it, and they come with the complete bracket on them. There's the new one I got, complete with a new bulb and the whole works. So that's good. I just have to transfer the plastic over, and to do that I think you have to remove all these brackets because they're held on by these push clips here. They're all along here. They're really hard to get out, if I recall, and they go right under the brackets there, so thank you GM for that. Okay guys, well I just gave everything a nice shot of 3-in-1 so everything comes apart easier and I won't break anything, and we'll get started here. Pretty rusty. Canadian winters are hard on vehicles. Just wanted to show you guys something if you're doing the same truck. This bolt here that holds the this bumper bracket, you want to make sure that you lube that up, clean the threads, whatever you gotta do to make sure that nut comes off there easily, because this is just in this quite thin bumper material, and it's just you know, a square, whatever you call that, you know what I mean, it's like a carriage bolt, and so it's just the pressure that holds it in there. So as you're loosening this, you'll have to keep your thumb pressed on there, and it's a bit of a pain in the butt, but if you lube it up, it'll be fine. See, I still got this one to go, and I've got it lubed up really good. Okay, well I've got all the stuff off, and you can see I've laid it out in order with the correct fasteners lined up with the holes they go in. These corner brackets can stay on, that's no problem, and now I'm just getting these two-piece push clips out, and I'll show you how they come out. They're basically a typical push clip, but what you do is you pull the centers up like that, and you spin them so that that slot all lines up like that, and then you have to I'm trying to do this and focus the camera at the same time. Squeeze that together like that. And then what I'm finding easiest is to go in the space between the chrome and the cover, because the cover's wrecked anyway, so it doesn't matter. And it's hard to get under the clip head, but if you go in there, then you just pry up, and that clip is now loose. There you go. No damage to the clip, and it's loose. And they're kind of a pain, but they do hold pretty good once they're engaged, that's for sure. So I noticed on the opposite corner, the corner I didn't hit, the bumper's actually bent in and it was pulled away from the cover a bit, so I will have to bend that straight. I'll show you the other side here quick. See how the other side goes out? I'll have to bend that straight so that the bumper will clip into these clips, and you want to be really careful making sure you get that cover lined up in those, all three of them, the first try. Because if you miss one and the other two clip or whatever, it's going to be a bad deal for you there. I just I tried to wipe it off with a wet cloth just so it looked a little better, and I didn't get all the dirt on the new cover and scrape up the new paint. So things are taking shape here. I've got the plastic bumper cover back on the chrome piece. I had to do that on the floor because you have to stretch these ends out as you go. Out around the metal, otherwise they'll end up contacting the painted surface. So when you're doing that, it tends to flip around a bit, and up on the table here it was yeah, it wasn't good. It was going to flip off or something, so I just put some cardboard on the floor and did it there. But I had to change this plastic reinforcement grill piece out of the old bumper as well. It's just 6 push clips in there, and change that over so nothing was broke there, and from there I just have to put all these pins back in. I've only got the corner ones in just to hold it, and then I'll put the brackets on. And I believe if I remember right, with these you want to put them all in loosely like this first, and then you go along and push them all down at the same time, because if you push the first couple down, you may not get the rest to line up when you go to put them in. Okay guys, so I'm just working on these clips here, and you can see this one's completely depressed, but it hasn't engaged, hasn't locked into the base yet. And so you want to make sure all of those do, because any that don't will just put more pressure on the next one that hasn't. So there, you can see it's fully engaged into the base now, locked in there, and it's nice and tight up there. See, sometimes you just have to get creative. I couldn't get that center clip to clip, and because the chrome sticks out farther there, I just couldn't. So I got in there with my pliers, which the jaws weren't long enough to reach the clip to press on it, but I was able to just use them to press down anyways and kind of lever up against this reinforced plastic. And I got the clip clipped, so mission accomplished. Okay, and the last thing you do to clip the cover on is line up those. I gotta pull them up a bit this way, get them lined up perfect, make sure you can see all three through the clips, and then squeeze it. Make sure your hands are clean. I'm gonna go wash mine first so I don't scrape the new paint, and just press that on firmly. And then when you go to put these brackets back on, you'll be able to see the dust marks from the washer. So snug this one down just like finger tight, and then tighten these up according to the dust marks. That'll align everything. And then snug that one down, and that way everything will line up. If you snug that one down first and tighten it, then these ones won't be lined up. So make sure you tighten that last. So the new bumper's all together, and there's the new fog light in it. It's ready to go back on the truck, and got my fasteners laid out on the floor and on the rad support here. I put a little oil on each one to aid in assembly. Slow and easy does it. That was just that plastic shield down in there that was hanging up. Just hang that. There we go. Good. Now to put this grill in, you have to kind of start on one side because it wraps around the light. So kind of get it hooked around there, and then just walk her in slowly. I mean, the key is to just not force anything and make sure everything's lined up. Actually pushes together very easily. And I have the 1 10mm fastener there. Be that guy. Hey guys, well the truck's all back together. Everything worked really well and went really smoothly. Everything's aligned up again and looks great to me, so I'm sure my friend will be happy. I'm going to give him a call here and he'll come pick it up right away. And thanks for watching Matt's Garage. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more.